interesting childhood. One that I thought was normal until a certain age.
Johnny Depp, an acclaimed actor and film producer, has navigated his dyslexia to become one of the most creatively inspiring figures in Hollywood. With a seemingly boundless ability to adapt to various challenging roles, he's gained recognition globally. But how has he reached this level of success with dyslexia standing in his way? How has this disability been a benefit to his career, and what is Depp's other disability that could have ended his career long before Pirates of the Caribbean? To unravel these questions and more, Fame and Fortitude would like to introduce the concept of Drive, a personality system which reveals the why and how of what we do. Johnny Depp was born on the 9th of June, 1963 in Kentucky as the youngest child of 4. Depp was faced with a lot of issues as he grew up, but the earliest of them was having to relocate from one place to another since his father was a civil engineer. This challenge, as well as others that he would face later on in life, made it quite hard for Depp. From an early age, Depp faced challenges at school, largely due to dyslexia, although it was undiagnosed at the time. It was frustrating for Depp because traditionally education focused more on reading and memorization. As a result of his disability, Depp found it hard to understand and grasp what he read, something others were able to do seemingly effortlessly. Furthermore, because there was not as much information about dyslexia at the time, Depp's teachers felt he was either lazy or simply not interested in school. However, despite the challenges that Depp faced in school, there were signs that Depp was resilient and that he would go on to become successful in the future. One of those signs was his love of music. Depp got his first guitar at the age of 12 and busied himself with playing music. Music became Depp's way of expressing how he felt and dealing with the frustration and the struggles he faced in school. He found solace playing his guitar and eventually joined a band named The Kids. Soon, Depp dropped out of school when he was just 16 years old to chase his passion as a musician. Although Depp faced a lot of challenges, he was bold in finding his own unique path, paving a career in the entertainment industry through music. Although things would not work as well as he had planned out with his music career, Depp's drive for independence and creativity would continue him on the path to stardom. According to the Drive system, Depp's inspiring story could be associated hypothetically with a director/intellectual combination. Drive is an acronym for Director, Relator, Intellectual, Validator, and Executive personality types. Directors celebrate a love for freedom, creativity, and overcoming challenges. Relators thrive in relationships and serving others. Intellectuals are fueled by knowledge, high standards, and organizations. Validators are motivated by recognition, personal acceptance, and being needed, and executives embody a grit for winning, control, and problem solving. As a director, his primary drive, Depp's motivations could include a need for freedom, independence, and creativity. Directors often excel at vanguard pursuits like the varied, unique roles Depp has chosen throughout his career. His creativity and independence help him bring a unique spin to each character, connecting with audiences globally. Depp's hypothetical second drive, the intellectual, underlies his approach in achieving the director's goals. Intellectuals are motivated by a desire for knowledge and understanding, often employing strategic organization and high standards in their pursuit. Despite dyslexia, Depp's thirst for knowledge could have propelled him to learn scripts and analyze complex characters effectively. Depp's entry into acting was unplanned, but fortunate. After Depp's band had dissolved, he had to do menial jumps to survive and make ends meet. His then-wife, Lori Allison, had a connection to actor Nicolas Cage, and that was how Depp transitioned into acting. Depp began auditioning for minor parts, but it wasn't until 1984 that he got his first role, which helped him cement his career as an actor. The movie was A Nightmare on Elm Street, and it was indeed a big one for Depp, but there were still issues that lay ahead. Depp continued to battle with dyslexia, which made it hard for him to read, write, or interpret scripts. This made auditioning stressful, and he struggled with a lack of self-confidence, constantly questioning whether he had what it took to be a part of the movie industry. It was hard for Depp to absorb and understand written materials, and that made him feel inferior to the other actors. But even with the struggles Depp faced, he didn't give up and decided not to allow his condition to limit how far he could go in his acting career. So instead of letting his disability throw him to the ground, he leaned into his intellectual drive and created his own strategies for success. He dedicated hours to reciting and repeating lines until he understood them. He also focused on making sure he was able to visualize his role and represent them perfectly. With dedication and practice, Depp was finally able to create his own way of understanding his scripts. He focused less on the conventional approach of reading and memorizing and started to focus more on representing each character effectively. Rather than giving up, he used the struggles as fuel to drive him forward. His unconventional methods of representing characters eventually paid off as he started to secure more prominent roles. His ability to tap into the complexity of the characters he portrayed, especially the eccentric and emotionally complex ones, helped him carve out a distinctive niche in Hollywood. And because Depp was doing something unique by focusing on an emotional connection with his audience, he began to change the way people approached acting and exceeded the expectations of the acting world. But dyslexia was unfortunately not Depp's only challenge. Depp also suffered from blindness in his left eye, as well as being short-sighted in his right eye, and this challenge made his life and acting career much more difficult. Depp was legally blind from birth, but this was rarely spoken about in the media until a 2018 interview with the Rolling Stones magazine. This condition posed a great threat to his performance and his career. Being able to see clearly so as to react effectively to people and the environment, especially on set, is very important. This posed a threat for Depp because in some roles, like Captain Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean, there were many fighting scenes and stunts that had to be performed. The fact that Depp was partially blind made it difficult for him to interact with people and to do certain scenes. Depp admits that he could barely see a few inches in front of his face, but Depp was determined. Again, using his director drive's creativity in combination with his intellectual drive, Depp made several adjustments so he could cope on set. Depp collaborated with other people on set as well, from the choreographers to the co-actors and even the director, so that his partial blindness didn't stand in the way of creating a performance that people loved. Johnny Depp's blindness pushed him to internalize his character roles in a way that gave his performances an emotional depth to which other actors could never match. Despite his dyslexia and blindness, Depp pursued his passion, living out the director drive with an intellectual approach. His tireless dedication to understanding his character mirrors the intellectual drive's commitment to knowledge. He developed techniques to understand scripts, practicing lines repeatedly and focusing on the essence of characters. His creativity and uniqueness, hallmark traits of his director drive, has led him to stand out, overcoming the challenges proposed by dyslexia. But beyond that, Depp has found purpose in using his platform for meaningful causes. He is known for his philanthropic efforts as he supports diverse charitable causes, including children's hospitals and organizations that focus on education and literacy. Depp's literacy challenges have enabled him to connect with such causes that help people who face similar disabilities. He often speaks about the importance of raising awareness and breaking the barriers of those disabilities so that those limitations don't hinder the potential of people to succeed in whatever fields they pursue. Johnny Depp's influence in Hollywood goes far beyond his choice of eccentric or emotionally complex characters. He has indeed set his legacy as one of the most dedicated and versatile actors of his time. With characters like Captain Jack Sparrow and Edward Scissorhands, Depp hasn't only entertained millions of people, but has also demonstrated the power of being unique in an industry that often prizes conformity. His approach and commitment to being authentic have earned him a loyal fan base, and this ensures that his works will be loved for years to come. We can all learn from Depp's story. It's not just about changing our drive, but how we leverage it to conquer obstacles. For Depp, dyslexia and blindness weren't setbacks, but instead an obstacle to overcome using his powerful combination of the director and intellectual drives. Like Depp, we all have our own unique drive, and by understanding it, we can tap into our intrinsic motivations, navigate challenges, and chart our path to success. As we delve deeper into more celebrity stories, we'll introduce another drive combination and discuss how drive informs human motivations, achievements, and challenges. Be sure to stay with us here at Fame and Fortitude by subscribing today.